Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Ecoffee with Experts. I'm your host, Matt Fraser. And on today's show, I have with me a very special guest, Matthew Dorrington. Matthew is the managing director of Blue Moxie, an SEO marketing agency located in Maidstone, Kent, United Kingdom. He is a certified Google Premier Partner with over 8 years of experience helping small and medium-sized businesses succeed by creating innovative search marketing campaigns to drive traffic using social media, paid ads, and SEO. When not working on marketing campaigns for clients, Matthew enjoys watching football, spending time on his sailboat, and hanging out with his friends and family. Matthew, thank you so much for being here. Welcome to the show.
My pleasure, and I'm happy to be here.
It's a pleasure having you. Hey, how would you describe yourself in high school?
At school, I wasn't academical at school. I generally didn't do great. I messed around a bit much. I was more interested in playing sport than actually getting grades. I made 2 good grades, and they were English and business.
Oh.
Other than that, effectively, I failed across the board. The grades aren't worth talking about. They were very, the parents weren't happy, simple as that.
Yeah.
But I was happy and having fun. That's why when I came out of school, I joined the Navy. I didn't really have an initial marketing direction. That wasn't my original plan. Yeah.
Wow.
So
how long did you serve in the Navy for?
I was in there for 3 years.
3 years. Wow.
Yeah. I was in there for 3 years. Served mainly down in the Caribbean. A lot with the Americans as well. Anti-drugs, anti-piracy, protection of shipping is generally what we worked on, and that was generally in conjunction with you guys. And
well, that's very interesting.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You.
No, I was just gonna say I'm located in Canada, but I am going to be moving to the States. But anyway, so how did you make the jump?
So the jump was a bit natural.
From the Navy.
Yeah. It's a bit of a career change, but as you can imagine, there's a lot of time in when you're serving to be able to, you've got a lot of downtime where you haven't got anything to do. And so I turned to books and I started reading about marketing. I fell into academical, life-changing books. It started with mindset books, then moved on to marketing books, and then that's when the ideas started to develop that I was interested in marketing, and I began to develop skills, and I started doing a little bit of freelance work in my downtime whilst I was serving.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that was the very start of it. It was back when I was like 18, 19. At the very start of it, I was doing little things. These were only little things like managing a small business social media, and I'd make one client for about a year, and this client wasn't paying loads and loads of money. It was a smaller amount, but it was, for me at the time, it was like the buildings of growing into something spectacular.
Getting experience,
Absolutely.
A lot of people want the big money up front. They want to get paid lots of money, the big dollars, but yet they don't have any experience. It's like, I think it's unrealistic to think that you either need to work for people for free, like a nonprofit, to like get some experience, or go and work for an agency as an intern or such. What was it when you started reading these books about marketing? What was it that you found so interesting that you wanted to pursue? Was there an initial book or an initial moment or something like that you were like, wow, this is really neat. This is what I want to pursue.
So I read a lot of kind of mindset books initially, and they obviously all talk about making money and side hustles and making sure you got multiple streams of income.
Yes.
But then I also did a lot of work for charity, still do. And so I wanted to help people. And when I'm marketing, I feel like I'm helping a small business grow. So it fills my mindset need to help. Yeah. Alongside. So I'm satisfied in the work I'm doing. So when my client grows, it makes me happy. Yeah. So that's how it's all linked, and what made me decide this was the way to go.
Yeah, absolutely. That was my motivation too, wanting to have a creative outlet in which I could help and use my skills to help and assist other people. in that regard. What do you think is the most challenging thing about digital marketing?
The most challenging thing is, I would say, it's not the people trying to get into the bottom end of the market. It's the where like, for example, where I came from, where I was helping small businesses. It's people that overpromise and underdeliver. They help make businesses lose trust in digital marketing agencies, SEO agencies, because they promised the world to a client. The client hasn't received it, and then you go to pitch from them. They go, "Well, this guy said this, but did he deliver that? No." So we're keeping it realistic.
That is absolutely. I was just on a previous interview an hour ago, and the guest and I were just talking about that, how our industry has unfortunately becoming tainted, and that is one of the biggest challenges. Is convincing others that you're not the snake oil salesperson who's going to overpromise and underdeliver in that regard. And I think as far as SEO goes too, there's no standard. I mean, how do people know whether we know what we're doing or not when it comes to SEO? Because there's so many opinions, Matthew, on different. I mean, our industry, especially, let's just park on SEO for a minute. I mean, it's one thing to talk about Google ads because there's probably some standardization in regards to Google ads of what campaign structures, and at the end of the day, I mean, if you're blowing through money, they can figure that out pretty quickly if conversion tracking and all those things are set up properly. But with SEO, like, there's a lot of different opinions out there about.
True, it's our job as SEO to interpret what Google is saying.
Yeah,
we get the algorithm updates, we read it, and then for months on Twitter, we're arguing over what stuff actually means. And then it's until we trial and test that we begin to discover, and then all of a sudden we've all formalized and come together and gone, well, this is the answer, until Google is all up in the air again. Yeah.
You mentioned something very interesting. Okay, so what's the number one way to learn about SEO then? Would you say?
So, of course, conferences. There's various conferences around the world. There's one in Barcelona on the 17th of November, and then there's one in Brighton in England in October the 8th, I think it is. And I'm going to both of those. So conferences be a great way to go. Google always speak at these conferences. Also, other market leaders. I myself have spoken at the other, a couple of them. It's essentially stay on top of things. I mean, algorithm updates. Make sure you keep an eye on the Google bot Twitter account. That always tells you when there's algorithm updates and changes. Google will tell you everything. All the information is on Google, not from other websites, but from Google developers' website.
Yeah,
that's your core go-to. Any other blog is just interpreting what Google developers are saying. So it's best to go direct to Google, actually have a look at the content they're writing and read it, because it's effectively a list of rules that your website needs to abide by to be able to rank as high as possible. And if you follow those, you will achieve.
Yeah. You mentioned testing. Do you ever do any kind of testing?
Yeah. Absolutely, all the time. So if we've got a page that say we've got a page, it's sitting at the bottom of page one. We test different things that over a week period or a couple of weeks period to see how it moves. This might be anything from H1, H2, H3 titles to more technical, structured data, speed optimization, compressing images, all of that kind of stuff, above the fold loading. And then you test different things and see what's affecting the move. And once you've found what's making it move, you can then build upon that and apply that across the site. The other thing we do a lot is A/B test different articles. So we might have two articles about the same subject with slightly different keywords.
Yeah.
See which one's providing the most most traffic, then combine two articles to bring all the traffic into one place.
Oh, interesting. What do you think is the biggest misconception about SEO?
I think the biggest misconception is you have to rank number one to gain the best and most traffic, which I believe strongly in. I've got very good traffic for some of my clients in third, fourth position. because it's about the metadata. I feel is the most important thing to drive and pull people in.
Okay. So while the metadata isn't, we would probably agree, isn't a ranking factor.
No, it's not.
It's a definite factor.
It's a user experience factor.
Yeah, CTR.
Yeah.
Click-through rates.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what do you think are some of the, so this is very interesting. This is very, very interesting. So what have you found to be the most successful in crafting meta titles and descriptions that are SEO optimized, that also satisfy the user for CTR?
People cram keywords in there, but it's just not a ranking factor. You see this, you see ones ranking above you and they've got free keywords just with lines in the middle. You need to put some emotion in there. What the person's going to get when they click on this. This covers core vitals as well. Make sure there's emotional words in there that make people want to click. So, for example, we might put, instead of digital marketing agency Kent, digital marketing agency Maidstone, you might put award-winning digital marketing agency. So your keyword's there, but it's without saying we're the best, we're the greatest.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Award-winning. And
that's good.
Like that give emotion and allow people to connect. Then in the metadata, a very simple, what you're achieving by coming on here, we can help you. Yeah. Or if you're a shop selling shoes, for example, you might say the designer shoes from XYZ, designers, so on and so forth. And so it's people know exactly what they're getting on there. So you will reduce that bounce rate, which overall will help with your.
There's a certain amount of skills. Then that obviously involves a knowledge of copywriting.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So do you think that's a skill? So what other, so, I think a lot of SEOs, in my experience, aren't the best copywriters. Like, it's a very left brain.
It's true.
Dominant. I mean, I know some people think left brain and right brain don't exist, but whatever. It's a very analytical. A lot of SEO is a very analytical. It's sometimes it's both. It's, in regards to content ideas and coming up with certain creative content ideas, and what you just nailed on the head, being creative and coming up with, copy that's going to move people to action, which is copywriting.
Really?
So besides copywriting, what other skill sets do you think are important for SEOs to have today?
I think it's a basic knowledge of code. Something that very, very much is missing in the SEO world, which I'm seeing when new clients come on board, especially. They've been with a marketing agency previously, been with an SEO agency, but no actual speed optimizations being completed, no metadata, structured data. Only a simple knowledge of code will help you a long way. So I feel like code is something that many don't learn. And they stick to just the on-page stuff, the visual stuff that the client can see. Yeah.
Code, I think, to know you can take a free course on LinkedIn, you can take a free course on HTML from W3 Code School or something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, I've seen that.
There's lots of places you can just learn the basics of HTML. I mean, to do SEO without knowing what an H1 tag is and an H2 and H3 and the differences between those things. Yeah, if you're just starting out. I mean, I know there's tools out there that enable people to look at those things. I'm not sure what your thoughts are. I'm referring to Surfer SEO and Page Optimizer Pro. I
avoid using tools.
Okay, cool.
Those that are installed because they're extra space on the server and it reduces the speed of the website. Only fractions, but I'd rather drop it straight into the clean code. No tools putting it on top, adding JavaScript, so forth.
Yeah, absolutely. What are the best practices to follow when trying to get a small business to the top of Google search results? Like, what's your framework that you start with?
So the framework I would start with, if we were taking on a new client, first of all, look at what pages they've got there and those words they're already ranking for. Normally, clients think too big initially. They're trying to dominate the whole of the UK. So, for example, let's say we've got a local pet, I wouldn't say local pet shop. Okay, it's an aquarium shop. They sell fish tanks, for example. they might be thinking, oh, we can sell these to the whole country. But, and then they would go fish tank UK, fish tank England. Whereas they need to think smaller initially and build up your location first. So for example, for us, you would say fish tanks in Maidstone, but then you might Maidstone, Kent. So you're getting that double tail keyword, you're covering Kent and Maidstone.
Yeah.
And start in a smaller area. I think that's initially the main thing you need to look at. But primarily, I'm a content marketer, and I prefer to rank through great content. And I would be preferring to get my copywriting team to write blogs on the best aquariums, the best way to set up aquarium, and so then we can hyperlink to the little pumps, all the rocks, and all the fish, and whatnot they need. But being able to being able to put emotion into the words, being able to touch people, help people, and then ultimately for the client, the customer's already on their website, and this is where PPC comes in. They're firing our Facebook pixels, they're firing our Google pixels, and then they're being those adverts back in their newsfeed. For me, that's the essential thing. Once they're on your website, we can then go to the transactional stage by using the PPC to bring them back into the sales websites afterwards.
Yeah. So you're saying that content is just the foundation, like trying to do SEO or, to be frank, marketing at all without content is like trying to drive a vehicle without petrol.
Absolutely.
Like, it's just not going to work.
You've built trust with the customer before they've come through to the sales stage. Many people just want to drive the customer straight to the sales page, but they're like, who is this company? Do I trust them? They go back and carry on shopping. Whereas if they've already read an article because they've searched a question related to your business because they're doing research before making the transaction, then they see you on Facebook or on Google within the ad. Oh, I know this name. Because
or display ad.
And so then you'll hit back, and retargeting adverts are very, very cheap. You're looking at 10, 20p per click because you're only targeting the people that have been on your website. And so they already know you, and it's already built that trust. And so you can attribute that to an SEO sale because it's come through. But yes, it's cost you an additional 10 pence to bring that person back to actually make it. Absolutely. This is where PPC and SEO go hand in hand.
Yeah, it's amazing. That's how I was able to achieve what I did when I was at the dealership. I drove organic traffic and paid traffic and retargeted in various different ways, whether it was on YouTube or display ads or Facebook or so. You were saying about content. We were talking about that and making sure that you have content that informs the customer. And so would you say that developing the customer journey for businesses is an integral part before even starting to generate traffic and content, and because it really dictates what kind of content you're going to have, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, the first thing we do before we even write a piece of content for a client is make sure they've got a sales process for when these leads come in or when these inquiries come in. Many of our clients, they receive traffic, they receive leads, and they don't know what to do with them. They go, well, they get flustered and go, their main issue is, oh, we haven't got any customers coming. Then all of a sudden they've got customers coming in, but they're not converting them. So especially B2B businesses, where they need to get in for a consultation, then take them through the steps into the sale. You need to make sure they've got that sale in place, because I see many of a small agency losing clients just simply because the client doesn't know what to do with the leads.
Yeah,
and ultimately that damages your bottom line because they haven't built that system. So we've created a small pack of tools to give clients. It gives them a basic sales channel, basic flows that they can follow. It's kind of a little upsell we have to go, look, if you haven't got this, we'll help you build this, and we'll put all their pipelines in place for them and their lead tracking software.
Oh, that's awesome.
But that's absolute foundation to make sure that when those sales do come, and effectively at the end of the contract, they can't go, well, we didn't close anything. Well, what steps did you take to close this client, or why hasn't this gone through? It's all about, you've got to keep asking why.
Why? Yeah. Because sales, sometimes I think clients have unrealistic expectations that the phone's supposed to ring, and as a result of lead generation or whatever, that there's no need to nurture the leads. No need to they're just gonna, phone's gonna ring and they're gonna say, I want to buy. Like, here's my credit card, give me your product. And when really it's all about relationship, and there needs to be things in place to nurture those relationships. So would you agree, or am I out too much?
Absolutely. Yeah. You've got to have that process. If you haven't got that process, you're not going to be able to close these leads. And this goes for every type of business. And especially the new startups, they've not even thought about this often. They just kind of get into a fluster when a lead comes in.
Wow. So what sort of things do you implement in order to make sure that you're tracking and being able to report to the client that you're providing value to them at the end of the day?
Okay, so obviously for us, especially with SEO in the early days, when I say early days, I mean first couple of months, you are going to improve traffic straight away. But ultimately, you're not going to see any serious traffic for about 2-3 months, end of second month into third month. That's when the more serious traffic's going to come. So what we always do in the early stages is we've got this generation platform set up for them so they can see what leads are coming in, what sales are coming in. If it's transactional based, like a shop selling clothes, shoes, that's a little bit more easier because you can use Google tags there.
Yeah.
But along with that, behind the scenes, a very strict log written by all of my staff. This is the work we've completed. We've done this. This is how long it took. So the client can always go back and say, what is this? I always present this in my monthly meetings so that I encourage my client, if you don't understand what they've done here, tell me and I'll put it into plain English for you. Make it very simple, make it very kind of the average Joe's English.
Understandable,
So I always encourage the clients to ask, what is this? What does this mean? What is Jason Dayer? I want questions. I want them to be able to come to me and say, I don't understand what this is, because ultimately then all this technical stuff that has to be in there, and using technical words is good because it doesn't look simple. If it looks simple on the paper, which it isn't simple, the client might go, "Oh, I could just do this myself."
Yeah. Do you? I mean, at the end of the day, I think clients are also interested in either their phone ringing or a lead in some shape or form or another. Like, do you insist on clients using call tracking, especially since you're doing Google ads? Is that a part of your strategy, or?
Not really calls. I don't put a call button onto my Google ads. I want people to land on the website. Simple as that. I need them to fire my pixels. So we do track calls once they're on the website. We always add a call now button to our clients' websites. And we always make sure there's a call to action on every scroll, on every screen. So every time you're on a screen, every time you're reading something, there should always be a call to action. So
absolutely.
And then we heat map those to see where people are moving on the website. So we can review the user experience and what people are clicking, what people are missing every 15 days. So we're able to adjust the website and make sure it's performing the best it possibly can.
Right on. Hey, you mentioned social media. In your opinion, how does social media affect SEO?
So social media is not a direct ranking factor, but it's a part of the obviously the pixel firing, building your audience there, allowing people to actually come back and follow your brand. So you can it helps with the content distribution. It allows a longer lifespan of your posts, so it's your posts are being able to be shared more. You can repost, and when you update content, like for example, when you change all of the dates and then rehash every 4 months, we rehash every blog to make sure it's up to date and resubmit it to Google, post it straight out on social media with a whole new post, and it just engages the audience. Obviously, it improves your visibility and organic traffic, brand recognition, brand awareness, so people know who you are, and the local search engine optimization. So you're optimized within Facebook itself. People search for services within Facebook, I do suspect that they do take a nap from from Facebook, but that's not confirmed by Google. So it's probably best just to make sure that's fully up to date.
Absolutely. What are your thoughts on AI in regards to content creation?
I love AI. For content creation, no.
Okay.
Not for. I don't like all of these copywriting AIs coming out. They are. People are chucking out content, and it's just cannibalized from other blogs across the web, and it's not original. I still think copywriting is definitely one of those jobs that needs to be done by a human. In terms of AI in social media and on your website, definitely bots. That's great. You can train a bot to learn, to being able to talk to your clients, look after customers, answer basic questions. And quite often you can avoid having to interact with a human by using a bot. So, for example, one of my clients, it's like a music festival. So we get the regular comments are, oh, how do I change the date on my ticket? And he goes, oh, just follow this link, and so on and so forth. It allows a human not to have to get involved to answer basic questions. So in that AI is amazing, because you taught it what keywords it needs to look out for within a question. But copywriting AI I think it's got a long way to go before it can be an industry standard.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that plays out over the next few years. There's another question. What do you think are the biggest challenges small businesses face when trying to rank in the local search results?
I think that the biggest problem is many small business owners, when they do it themselves, they keyword stuff. They don't realize it's a problem. But because they go to their BNI group, they go to a networking group, and some guys just said, oh, you've got to put keywords everywhere, and they don't understand that they're overusing these keywords. So what you see when you go local Google My Business posts and stuff, there's keywords everywhere. There's no descriptions, just a list of keywords, and it actually, they think they're doing the best they possibly can to appear, but what they're actually doing is damaging their position. And it's the same with their websites. Quite often they repeat the location too many times, or every time they mention their business, every other sentence, and that's the big issue we find. And then when you initially do make the changes and make it look normal, and so that Google sees that as natural content, the clients, they'll be like, but you've taken all the location keywords out. That we haven't. We've mentioned it 2-3 times, over 2,500 words. We've added a Google map. We've location optimized images, which is absolutely essential. And it might not be visible to your eye, but Google's more aware of where you are now than before. So I think that's the biggest challenge, is educating the market that you don't need to stuff your content.
You mentioned that one of the ways to learn about SEO marketing was attending conferences. What about for growing your business? Have you ever had the opportunity to speak at conferences?
Yeah, I've done some TED Talks. I talk regularly at our local chamber events.
Oh, wow.
I feel that it's a really, really, really important way of growing your business, because when you become knowledgeable in your industry, your local area begins to get you known as the person to speak to. I probably 1 or 2 emails a day come into my box, simple marketing questions from local business people. Just answer those questions. It helps build you authority. But most of these people are only talking at events. Another example is our local chamber, the Kent Chamber. We sponsor all of their networking events. Every single one. Our banners, our logos are everywhere, all over them. And it's just
that's cool.
Visible and there.
Visible.
Yeah, we need to be that go-to, and by doing TED Talks and talking at events, you can go out there and get these kind of talks just by simply messaging these people. Sometimes they will say no, sometimes they say welcome you along. It's the same as cold calling. You just keep asking, but you become an industry authoritative figure, and then people automatically come to you. But if you do try it, don't just do one and think, oh, where's all my leads? You need to do it.
You got to do it.
A month.
Yeah,
keep doing
absolutely.
it.
Absolutely.
And that's essential.
Absolutely. Hey, Matthew, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. I know we're coming to the end of our time together. I would love to have you on again to further discuss different aspects of marketing. If our audience wants to connect with you online, how can they do so?
The best way to get in touch with me directly is through LinkedIn, search Matthew Dorrington. Or
Matthew okay.
If you wish to email me, you can email me direct at matthew@bluemoxie.co.uk.
Oh, right on. Right on. Thank you so much for sharing that information, and we'll make sure to put it in the show notes. And thank you so much for being on the show.
Absolutely. More than happy to, and I look forward to coming back.